Hello and welcome to Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides and we're looking at Sunday's action and some of the European games as well. And we have our regular guests. We have Sam Diamond, who is our football expert and editor of bestofthebets.com. We also have Gareth Walker, our bookie extraordinaire from Heaven Bet. So thank you for being with me again. We are going to start with the North London derby. We're starting with Tottenham versus Arsenal.
2.4 they are to win this game. Arsenal are 3.1 and the draw is available at 3.6.
The morale couldn't be different. Couldn't be more different at either club at the moment.
Yeah.
Tottenham now have won their last two in the league. They've scored decisive goals, decisive injury time goals in their last two games in the Premier League and Europa League competition. And they're also unbeaten in 11 Premier League games, which equals a club record in the Premier League era.
Yeah.
So the incentive for beating Arsenal in the North London derby and setting a new record is great. Arsenal, they did get that win against Villa, but it just is not.
It was against Aston Villa.
Yeah, and it made heavy weather of it as well. After getting an early goal, they didn't go on and sort of cement their authority like Arsenal teams of previous would have done, and it's certainly the weakest team of the Arsene Wenger era.
And it is Gareth Bale fever at this
it is doing brilliantly,
everywhere.
but you do wonder if those wonder strikes do dry up, as we've said before, where are the goals coming from? And I think that's my only slight reservation about Tottenham at the moment.
Tottenham are really interesting because they've got this incredible unbeaten run, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
When you actually break down that unbeaten run, they seem to have had a very kind set of fixtures there. There was the game against United, which is obviously a tough one, but the other games within the run, they don't seem to have had any real tough test. However, I'm on a big downer about Arsenal, and I don't really think Arsenal are the team that they are going to test them. I think you look at this, and Tottenham 2.4, it springs out a mile to me from this whole weekend.
I was going to say,
possibly,
do you think Arsenal is a strong team? They're not.
They're not, and I think you have to look at their record against their fellow teams in the top six this season. They've only won one game. It was against Tottenham at the Emirates when they won 5-2. But that was very much a game that hinged on Adebayor sending off. Tottenham were very much control at that point.
That's the thing to remember. You look back, you look at the score now, and it was obviously a comfortable win for Arsenal. But it was a big goal gamble from AVB after that ridiculous sending off, which did turn the game. Tottenham looked by far superior in that opening period in that game. 2.4. Yeah, what a price! I think this could be better the month, could be better the year even.
Okay, right. We're going to find out what Mike Holden has to say about this particular game: Tottenham versus Arsenal.
Tottenham have been virtually unstoppable in the league. They've only lost once, which was at Everton, with those two injury time goals that basically turned that game on its head. But they're creating chances galore. The shots on target, shot supremacy, they're leading the table in so many of the key statistics. It's not just about Gareth Bale. And I think that, this is there for the taking for them. I think Arsenal's defence is a real problem. In 27 Premier League matches, Arsene Wenger's used 11 different combinations of back four. Never used the same back four more than 4 times in a row. And again, that lack of sort of solidity, that lack of consistency in the defence is going to, he's going to be there again at White Hart Lane.
Right, so we all agree on that game, including Mike. We're going to move on to Aston Villa versus Manchester City. What can they do in this game?
No sympathy from the fixture computer. Away at Arsenal, followed by home to City. Villa 7.4, draw is 4.4, and Manchester City to win away 1.5.
I thought Aston Villa did do well to get themselves back into the game at Arsenal. But yet again, it's just a certain amount of naivety towards the end. That lack of experience in defence has cost them again. And you look at their back four at the Emirates, Loughton, Clark, Bennett and Baker, and they've got little over 100 Premier League appearances between them. So we flagged it up all season, but it is still costing them. What Man City have is experience in abundance, experience of winning games and winning trophies. So you would expect them, now that they've got over that blip of their 3 games without a win, to beat Chelsea. Their sights are very much set on second place. So I expect them to come through this game, but I think they won't do it until after the break. I think Villa can hold them till half-time, draw half-time, Man City full-time for me.
It's priced at 4.2. Villa, first half of the season, had that incredible record of barely conceding in the first half of the game, so if they can recapture a bit of that. Mancini certainly won the tactical battle last week against Chelsea, and And City were impressive there, really deserved to win that game.
Gareth, is more pressure on Manchester City, because this is a Monday night game, United win their match against Norwich, then there's more pressure on Manchester City to do well on Monday. Does that make a difference?
I'm not convinced City are even looking above them at United anymore. I think they're looking behind them and making sure that they finish second. I think that's the battle that they're involved in, making sure that they kill off Chelsea. So if Chelsea have won on Saturday, then it's going to be that's where the pressure will come.
I think the only issue with the Monday night game is the fact that probably Man City's only hope of a trophy now really is the FA Cup, and they play Barnsley on Saturday. So it doesn't give them that much space between the two games. They may have one eye on that. Something else for maybe to get with Villa in some capacity. Yeah,
I think it could well be again for the unders here, under 2.5 goals, which is a shared odds against. I like that's priced at 2.05. If there's 0, 1 or 2 goals in the game, then you've backed a winner.
And it's worth remembering that Villa have beaten Man City this season after extra time in the Capital One Cup, so they can do it. So
it could be an interesting match then on Monday night. We are going to move on to Hoffenheim versus Bayern Munich. Hoffenheim really, it's a real prospect of the drop when you've got Bayern Munich, who's fantastic.
Look at the prices. Hoffenheim 10.7, Bayern Munich 1.25, and the draw is 5.4. Munich been extremely impressive in midweek.
Yeah.
Been extremely impressive all season. They haven't always had it their own way, going to Hoffenheim, drawn 3 of their 4 trips there. But I don't give Hoffenheim a chance for this game at all. You look at Bayern Munich's statistics this season, and it's just incredible reading. I've got them here. It's 6 straight wins in the Bundesliga. They're beaten in 14, 5 away victories in a row without conceding a goal, 28 wins from 33 in all competitions, 55 plus goal difference. And now they're through to the latter stages of the German Cup, and they've got one foot in the next round of the Champions League. They're just absolutely steamrolling teams at the moment, and Hoffenheim are in such dreadful form. They're heading for the drop the way things are going. Lost a massive 6-pointer at Augsburg last weekend to go into the bottom 2. They've lost 10 of their last 12 league games. They have improved under Marco Kurz. The performances have improved, but the results haven't. And I look like prices around sort of 4-0 Bayern Munich here and -2 on the Asian handicap.
So 4-0 to Bayern Munich is priced at 6.8. Bayern Munich -2 is priced at 2.4. So for that one, if Munich win by 3 or more goals, then you bet to win it. If Munich win by exactly 2, then you get your stake back. If Munich win by 1, or it's a draw, or even the unlikely Hoffenheim victory, then you bet to loser. The only slight thing about Munich, they really set out to make a statement in the week against Dortmund. They were so impressive, absolutely crushed Dortmund in midweek in the Cup. I think it was 9 shots to 1 in Munich's favour. But they were so dominant in the first half, only 1-0 up, but then didn't seem to want to go on in the second half and really put the foot on the throat of Dortmund. So I'd be perhaps not as confident in putting a big correct score victory in, but you can't really see any other outcome than a Munich victory. If you're putting any accumulators on for the weekend, I'd certainly include Munich to
we need to move
returns.
on. We need to move on. We're going to move on to Roma versus Genoa. Roma strong at home.
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend was giving me some advice over one of these teams this week. So
really?
Oh, Genoa.
Yeah, I've been going out with her for 2 years. Both of these sides have had an upturn in fortunes recently under new managers. Roma sacked Zeman after a 4-2 home defeat to Cagliari last month. And since Andrea Zoli has come in and taken charge, they've beaten Juventus, the Scudetto holders and league leaders, and they also had a great win at Atalanta last week in some quite treacherous conditions. So they come here, and what they look like showing now is consistency that really has avoided them all season. So they're looking quite good. Genoa are unbeaten in 5 games, and it's taken them out of the bottom 3, which is great news for them. But they didn't look quite as good last week against Palermo, who are bottom of the table, and only had 10 men for the last 15 or 20 minutes. And the performance was not as good as sort of recent ones.
I can't see them going for a win on this game, but I think they'd be pushing for a draw if they could.
I quite like Genoa actually. This record under David Ballardini, he's gone back to the club. It's the 3rd manager this season. Any club with a chairman as eccentric as the Genoa chairman is always a team that you follow with interest, and you'd know better than me, Sam. A lot of players out on loan. What's
got about 30, 35 players out on loan.
Absolute crazy.
Well into the co-ownership at Genoa.
Yeah, I think tied in with Watford, aren't they?
Most teams are.
But 5 points clear of the drop zone.
Yeah.
The last 3 games have finished 0-0, 1-0 and 0-0, so you're sort of thinking, oh, well, could be cagey. But I think the scoreline, certainly that Palermo game was very cagey, but I think that just seemed to be Genoa just thinking, get out of here with a point. 5 points clear of the drop zone, we'll be fine. But game before that, there was 3-2 against Lazio, created a lot against Parma the game before that, I believe. So I'd be tempted to take a chance on Genoa, actually. 7.4. Roma, I know you're very bullish about them. I haven't been as convinced about them.
They have Daniel De Rossi and Francesco Totti back from suspension for this game as well. So that's another reason I like them. And just Genoa have had trouble scoring on their travels this season. Only 8 goals away from home. They failed to score in 6 of their 12 away games.
I guess the issue is, do you take Genoa's form for the season as your yardstick here, or are you prepared to do something which isn't generally a good idea, which is just to look at a very small sample of form, which I'm doing here really, and saying, well, look at the 5 games they've had under the new manager. Don't know what was exactly going wrong under their old boss, but clearly something's changed since he's come in.
Yeah.
Can they continue that? 7.4, I'll take a punt on Genoa.
Okay. We're going to move on to La Liga. Malaga versus Atletico Madrid, 4th versus 2nd.
Well, yeah, the battle behind Barcelona is a real fascinating one. Malaga are 2.9 for this, Atletico Madrid 2.6. And the draw available 3.4.
Yeah.
This is an interesting game. Atletico have overtaken Malaga alongside Real Madrid as being the most miserly in defence. They've only conceded 23 goals this season. Yeah. Malaga 24. So I don't think there'll be much in the way of goal map action. And to be honest, I can make a case for all 3 outcomes in this game. And I think at the biggest price one, it may be seen as sitting on the fence, but I'm going to go with the draw.
I always look at Atletico and always look at Falcao, really, because he's just different gear.
And he did score in the Copa del Rey semi-final.
He did.
As well.
I'd suggest Atletico fans will make the most of him while they've got him, because you'd think he's on the way in the summer.
He sat out the second leg, of course, which was in midweek, both him and Arda Turan. So Simeone's got strength there.
Fresh for this one. He's 5, and yeah, perhaps they'll have Fernando Torres sitting there instead of him next season, which won't be quite the same height. I'd take Atletico here for a narrow win and continue their quest to be top dogs in Madrid this season.
Staying within La Liga, Real Sociedad versus Real Betis.
Very level in the table, but betting-wise, Sociedad are odds on 1.85 to win this. Draws 3.7, and Real Betis are available at 4.6.
Both sides are going brilliantly in La Liga. Both in the hunt for Europa League football. And indeed, if Sociedad were to win this and Levante and Malaga slipped up, they can actually go 4th and into the Champions League spots. Yeah. But I think the highlight of their season came last Friday night when they won the Basque Derby at Bilbao, the last ever Basque Derby at San Mamés, to complete a double over their rivals, and that would mean everything to them. And I often find it interesting when teams get a huge result in such an intense situation as a local rivalry, how they react after that. Will that spur them on to go on and do well, or will that sap all their energy? They've been on a great run, 1 defeat in 15, but I just think Betis could shock them here. They've had trouble scoring goals lately, but their top scorer Ruben Castro now is back from injury. He's likely to play. Beñat is likely to play, and he's a highly rated midfielder. I think they could just take advantage of some overwhelming emotions in the Sociedad camp and really surprise them. I'm going to go for a Betis win.
It's a real shrewd point Sam makes there. The sort of standard reaction, you look at a great win for someone, you think, well, that's going to help them in the next game. I'm looking to back them. Whereas, in fact, often what you should be doing is thinking, well, that was such a good achievement, such a good result, that there's emotion there, that it's worth opposing them next time out. And with Betis, I've had a real sort of study up of Betis, and certainly at the prices, I'm in agreement with my colleague here that Betis at 4.6 look a real good bet.
Right, so best bet then for Sunday.
I can't look beyond the home side in North London. I'm going to go for Tottenham Hotspur.
I'll be greedy and go for an even bigger price for my best bet though, 4.6 Real Betis.
Okay. And I'd love Aston Villa to beat Manchester City, but I'm going to go Man City to win.
Man City to win at 1.5.
Okay. Remember, for you to place your bets, it's www.heavenbet.com. You can tweet us at Best of the Bets and watch the show back on www.bestofthebets.com. We'll be back same time, same place next week. See you then.